gbogbo wa nílé lóko lẹ́yìn òdì mo kí wa ipa kó mo jẹ́ ọjọ́ ṣeré mo kẹ́ ìyá mo kẹ́ bàbá mo kẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n mo kẹ́ àbúrò èwo ni mo mú wá fún wa ní ọjọ́ títí òní pápápá ni mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kí èmi àti yín kájọ ṣe bí òní jẹ́ kó pọ̀ bó ṣe lè hùn kó mọ̀ ó wá kù sọ́wọ́ èmi àti yín láti bá wa pín láti bá wa share láti bá wa tàrí síwájú àti fi kọ́mẹ̀ntì yín náà sílẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ó tojú sú mi gangan ló yẹ ká pé nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní nǹkan tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà yìí àti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ kí n kọ́kọ́ mú ti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá síwájú wípé àwọn kan sọ wípé ọmọ Yorùbá ara nǹkan táwọn ò ṣe dá sọ̀rọ̀ ìrìn àjò yìí òun ni wípé tó ọmọ Yorùbá kó máa di pé máa dìgbà kan tó máa para wọn Nàìjíríà ò gbádùn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò gbádùn kódà gan ìlú Ìgbò gan òun náà ò fararọ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà Benue gbogbo ẹ̀ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ kò fararọ kò ń ṣẹlẹ̀ Yorùbá nìkan ju gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ ó wá kó sí àárín ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà níbi tí nǹkan yìí tẹ́ máa fi mọ̀ wípé ó ń parọ́ tàn wá ní bọ́ á ti mọ̀ o àló dìgbà tí ẹnu wa bá kò ó dìgbà tí a bá rí bóyá bíi 60%. 70% tẹ́nu wá kò possibility ó possible kí agbára wa kúrò nínú oko ẹrú bọ̀tá bá ṣì wà ní ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà yìí àti wípé irọ́ tó ń pa fún wa ìyá mi bàbá mi ẹ̀gbọ́n mi àtàbúrò mi àló ti túṣẹ̀ irọ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ tújú kò gbọ́dọ̀ farahàn jù báyìí lọ fídíò méjì ni máa ṣò ọ mẹ́ta nínú nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ ẹ máa bá mi ká lọ. Ẹ̀yin tó bá jẹ́ nígbà àkọ́kọ́ tẹ́ ẹ ṣe darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá wa ṣe kíni láti bá wa subscribe ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá wa tẹ like ọ̀fẹ́ nígbàlà let's go there.
And aside that, then get other appointment we cover all the military arms. We get the chief of naval staff, we get the chief of air staff, we get Inspector General of Police, and we get the chief of army staff. We can't get the Ogadapata. Him they fear. He reach where chief of air staff go act. Him they fear. He reach where chief of army staff go act. Him they fear. He reach where Inspector General of Police go act. Him they fear. He reach where chief of defense staff, the organ of them all go act. Him they fear. Now that will not be the end. Who then they fear? Now make I leave the chiefs. Nigerians will never reason this thing that they talked before. If all the chiefs they fear to act when it come to this terrorism issue, to neutralize them, the better of all the whole armed forces for Nigeria, they fear. You don't ask yourself, who him they fear? Now, aside that, say then the chiefs they fear. During the time when Jonathan be president, he make one statement. He said these people, they're in cabinets, and he throw in the towel, as in he accept defeat. If to say no accept defeat, the kind cause where he gets alone, in fact, they will kill him. Jonathan, who the president they fear. Aside Jonathan, Jesus, when IBB write in book, when him they confess of some things, when they admit that truly Abiola won the election. Now, IBB been confess. Say, if to say him no annul June 12th election, then for kill him. Who be those people? Apart from that, your present Presido, hear what him Hajia talk when they interview Hajia. Make we hear him.
What is your blueprint for us? He told me
You can go on by this.
that he doesn't have anything for us. I said, you mean, sir, you don't have a blueprint? He said, I can't have a blueprint because if I have a blueprint, I'll be stepping on too many toes and they might even...
He said he gonna step on too many toes and then fit kill him. Nigeria, you people are in trouble. Now, is there another power apart from the highest authority of power will be the president for this our Nigeria? Jonathan say he fear made a no kill him. Babangida say to say no and all June 12th. They for kill him. Now I just say, Ashiwaju tell him say he not get any blueprint with regards to them. Because if he bring out a blueprint, he go step on too many toes and then go feed kill him. Now, why I bring this matter be say the wife of the president, you know that the president is the highest authority. He can't they thank US president, they happy. Say the airstrike where US can't do for Nigeria, maybe they can't do more. so that this terrorism go fit. Does it mean our number one man no get the capacity to do airstrike and flush these terrorists? I carry you go back memory lane so that you go align them with wetin dey happen. The wife of the president, they call for more airstrike from Trump. But with the budget for security now, does it mean the president of Nigeria no get the capacity to strike the terrorists into the fear? So with all these happenings, all this revelation, I beg, now which people they govern Nigeria? Which people our leaders they report to? Which people all our chiefs they report to? Which people our presidents they report to? Because not the only one. Babangida talk, if he no do like them for kill him. Jonathan said them there in cabinet, if he no do like them for kill him. Now Hajia talk, say see what in the number one man tell him. So if he do like this, he will step on too many toes and then fit kill him. Now the wife of the president, they call on Trump to come and, unleash more airstrike. Say the airstrike, when he strike Nigeria at that time, for Sokoto, now blessings. So we expect more. Nigerians, I beg, now which people, they rule this country? He get another power way past the number one man, because the other time, before they removed the former CDS, will be the new chief of defense staff now. He give directive. Say if you see terrorists they come near you and you see say your life is danger, shoot. If they not give you order to shoot and you see say the terrorists won't come kill you, shoot. As he make that statement, no they remove him. Me so I don't confuse. I don't understand. Is there another power where even our presidents, all of them they fear? All our chiefs, then they fear.
Òun ló fà á o tó fi jẹ́ wípé ó ń béèrè wípé báwo ló ṣe jẹ́ gangan náà. Ta làwọn Kabal? Ta làwọn Kabals? Ta ni wọ́n ṣe ghost ni wọ́n ní? Biafra wà dà lọ́jọ́ tèní. Yorùbá nation dà lọ́jọ́ títí òní. Torí pé kí ni? Àwọn tó ń rúlu Nàìjíríà, àwọn tó ń ṣe ìlú yẹn, ibẹ̀ kan náà wà. Wọ́n wà níbi tó fọwọ́ lẹ́rọ. Wọ́n kàn fi báírò àti pépà tó fi ń dúró ẹ̀ báyìí nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe. Ẹ wo lórí ọ̀rọ̀ security ilẹ̀ wa ń sìn, àti ìmọ̀ ibi tó máa jáde sí o. Àti ìmọ̀ ibi tó ń lọ o. Mo dẹ̀ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí. Mo ní nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí ó tó pín. Nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ ó tó pín. Wẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá, ọmọ kóòtù òjìrè. Wọ́n lọ ṣàtògbèmí ṣe mí bó ṣe bá mi. Now tí gbogbo ẹ̀ bá wá rí báyìí, tá bá tún wá ń yára wa sí ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀, tá jẹ́ kí àwọn ìjọba kán máa yà wá sọ́tọ̀ pẹ̀lú nǹkan tó mọ̀ torí tó bá ní ìbẹ̀rù ibi tí wọ́n rán àwọn èèyàn lọ ní ọdọọdún. Tó bá ní ìbẹ̀rù pé lótìtọ́ àti òdodo, Allah kan exist nínú ìgbésí ayé wọn, ọ̀hún níyà ọ̀dájú tó tó yìí. Ó wá kù sí ọwọ́ èmi àti yín, bá máa ṣe kóra wa jọ, bá máa ṣe gbọ́ tilé tá à ní gbọ́ ti ọ̀run tá máa gbọ́ tayé. Ìyẹn ló dífá fún fídíò méjì tí máa fi kún fídíò yìí. Kí oníkálukú kẹ́ni wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa kò, òun la máa fi rí ọ̀nà àbáyọ. Òun la lè fi mọ bí tá à ń lọ. Bọ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí, mo rí wípé àti ìmọ̀ bí a lọ. A sì wà nínú aginjù. Ẹ̀rù ń bà wá, àmọ́ ṣé ká padà síwájú ṣé ká padà sẹ́yìn. Ọ̀ǹtì ìgbà tá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ronú sí àwọn fídíò méjì tí máa gbé wá lẹ́yìn eléyìí tá à ń wò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí. La máa ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá mọ̀ wípé yes lótìtọ́ àtòdodo tí ẹnu wa bá kò, tá bá kọ́kọ́ mọ ẹni tí a jẹ́ ná, a lè mọ bá ṣe máa dì pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń jẹ wá ní ojoojúmọ́ tó ń fa ìjẹ wa mú. Ire ẹ bá wa pín, ẹ bá wa share, ẹ bá wa fi kọ́mẹ̀ntì tí yín náà sílẹ̀. Bó bá ṣe rí lọ́dọ̀ títí yín, ojú tẹ̀yin náà bá fi wò. Mo ń gbé fídíò náà bọ̀.
Most African Christians always ask me, you tell us to return to our roots and worship the gods of our ancestors. Where were the gods of our ancestors when the white man came to Africa and enslaved our people? Where were the gods of our ancestors when the white man came to colonize Africa a second time? So if the gods of our ancestors failed our ancestors, why should we trust such gods? My answer to African Christians is that go and read your Bible and answer this question. Where was Yahweh, the God of Israel, when the Babylonians came and carried the Israelites into slavery? Where was that Yahweh, the God of Israel, when the Egyptians enslaved the Israelites for 400 years? Why should the Israelites continue to trust Yahweh when he allowed them to be enslaved? You don't ask this question. You are questioning the gods of Africa. Well, if you have been following me for a while, you will understand that I have always said I do not believe in the existence of God, and at the same time, I do not believe that God does not exist. I know that I do not know, and what I do not know, I refuse to label it. I just leave it on that level of I don't know. However, since humans want to worship a God in order to feel safe and secure in this world, I always say it is important for you to worship a God that is indigenous to you, because humans created God in their own likeness and in their image. So humans built a strong sense of identity around their God, so much so that if you decide to worship a foreign God, you have to accept the identity that that God takes, because it was created by a different culture. And that God has been given a particular identity that might be against your own identity. So accepting a foreign God means accepting a foreign identity. It means you are turning yourself against your own self. The African gods were created by the Africans, and around these gods, they have built their identity. Just as in every culture, Yahweh, the God of Israel, was created by the Israelites, and around this deity, they have also built their identity. Does this prove that God is real? I say no, it does not prove that God is real, because all these things come from a human mind. There is a way in which the human mind can create something and it becomes so powerful that it influences human life in a very strong way. For example, the phone I'm using now to shoot this video, there was a time it never existed. It existed in somebody's mind as a thought. And this thought today has become something so strong that it has become physical, that we can touch it, we can feel it, we can use it, and it is influencing our lives in such a great way. In the same way, this is how the concept of God has come to be. Humans created it from a thought, and it has become something so strong that it has the power to influence our lives in many ways. Now, back to the question of where were the African gods when the white man came to Africa to enslave our ancestors. This is the answer I will give you. The fact that you believe in a God does not mean that you are not going to suffer in this life. If you created a God, it is your responsibility to protect that God. If you created a God, that God will not fight for you. You are the one to fight for that God. Put that at the back of your mind, because it is your creation. Having said that, our African ancestors were naive. They believed in hospitality. They believed in Ubuntu. I am because you are. You are because I am. So they started welcoming everybody. They allowed the white man to come to our land, and they welcomed the white man because to them, hospitality was a moral virtue. They did not know that they need to protect themselves. They did not see the stranger as a danger to them. But the stranger came with his own agenda, and he has its own plan. They allowed the stranger to explore their land freely. They showed them their secrets, showed them their system of worship. And this allowed the stranger to discover their vulnerabilities, to discover their weaknesses, and devise strategies that are going to help conquer these people. Because at the end of the day, this is warfare. It is all about strategy. God does not get in between. God does not get involved in what is going on in human lives. He does not care. You created him, so he sits there and watch you do your things. It's just like when the lion is chasing the antelope. There is no God to come and save the antelope, because the lion is trying to feed, and at the same time, the antelope is trying to save his life. Whoever outruns the other saves its life. That is just the way it is. Our ancestors did not see it. You cannot put the blame on African deities, because the deities had nothing to do. It was the responsibility of our ancestors to come up with a strategy to defend themselves. But they were naive. We can't blame them, because according to their understanding of the world, hospitality was a moral virtue, and the white man used it against them. The reason why I'm saying Africans need to turn back to their roots and worship the gods of their ancestors is not because I believe in any god, or I believe that those gods hold any power in any way. It is because I know that around these gods is built the true identity of the African, and there is no development without a sense of identity. That is why the Chinese, no matter what happens, always maintain their cultural identity. That is why the Indians, no matter what happens, they always maintain their cultural identity. Same thing with the Arabs. They always maintain their cultural identity, because it is the culture that drives the economy. That is why I keep saying the solution is go back to your culture. Go back to your roots. Your culture is like the water. You are like the fish. You cannot take freshwater fish and put in salty water. And you cannot also take salty water fish and put in fresh water. In any case, what happens is death. African is just like a freshwater fish that is trying to swim in salty water. That is a foreign culture. And you can only die in that situation. There is no progress for you. There is no development for you. That is why I keep insisting. The only solution is to go back to the ways of your fathers. I hope I have answered this question.
Lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà torí tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá bayé wa jẹ́ ni bó la ṣe mú owó tá a ṣe mọ kó ribiribi tá a mọ kó lọ Mọ́kà tá a lọ mọ lẹ̀kùn má síta tá a mọ tún fowó ra òkú mọ́ lẹ̀ mọ́ òkò tá a ìsọpá ń sọ́kù má síta ni gbogbo èèyàn afáfẹ́ dánrù rẹ̀ wò ẹ̀ ṣẹ̀rù tọmọtọmọ ni tí tẹ́ẹ̀sì kó wá sínú oko ẹrú ṣé bí nǹkan tí wọ́n máa ń pè ní àṣetán ṣé bí nǹkan tí ò da ní àṣetán ṣé tó bá yẹ pé àṣetán ò da sọ yẹ kí àwọn àràbù sọ yẹ kí wọ́n gbé síbi tí ó da kí wọ́n tún tan èsì fún kí wọ́n taná fún kí wọ́n tan ọgbẹ́ fún tí ẹ bá rí ibi tí àṣetán ní wà ẹ̀yìn síbẹ̀yìn kan sì ẹ̀ lọ Mọ́kà gan síbẹ̀yìn kan lọ Mọ́kà ṣé ẹ̀rí ibi tí àṣetán ní wà nílùú Mọ́kà ni ṣé ibi tó yẹ kó wà nìyẹn níbi tó da tán gbogbo yín ẹ̀ ní lálẹ́ o gbogbo èèyàn àfáà tẹ́ ń parọ́ fún wa tẹ́ ń parọ́ fún wa lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà yìí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí tẹ́ ní Kùránì yìí ọkàn wà lọ́wọ́ ọkàn wà lẹ́sẹ̀ tẹ́ ń parọ́ fún wa gbogbo yín ẹ̀ ṣẹ̀rù tọmọtọmọ ni gbogbo yín ọ̀ṣẹ̀rù torí ẹ ti fi rọ́ ẹ ti fi bayé wa jẹ́ ẹ ti fi rọ́ ẹ ti fi dàná amọ̀rin wa rú ẹ ń gbowó kọ́mọ́mọ́ gọ̀ sí àwọn táwọn lọ Mọ́kà táwọn lọ fi owó sọ̀kọ̀ má ti àní sáà ti gọ̀ àti gọ̀ Elédùmarè yóò fìyà jẹ gbogbo yín o gbogbo yín pátápátá gbogbo ẹ̀yin àfáà pátápátá gbogbo ẹ̀yin kàlífà pátápátá gbogbo ẹ̀yin mọ̀ọ́mù pátápátá Elédùmarè yóò fìyà jẹ gbogbo yín àtọmọ yín àti aya yín àti gbogbo yín Elédùmarè yóò fìyà jẹ torí ẹ ti kó wa sínú oko ẹrú tipẹ́ kí ló kàn wá pẹ̀lú ìwé kí ló kàn wá ìwé lásán òbútù bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ̀ ìwé lásán kí ló kàn wá pẹ̀lú ẹ.
So a lot of people ask me, Ifashese, why Isheshe? Why the tradition? Why the devotion? Why the discipline? Why did you choose this lifestyle? And the simple answer is, I didn't choose Isheshe. Isheshe chose me. Because Isheshe is not a trend. Isheshe is not aesthetics. Isheshe is not something you pick up today and you drop tomorrow. Isheshe is a lifestyle. It's a way of living, a way of thinking, a way of honoring forces that works with us. Before social media existed, before the hashtags, before anything that has to do with online presence, our ancestors lived, they existed with truth and discipline. So no, Isheshe is not a trend. It is who we are. It is how we rise. It is how we became. And yes, for me, Isheshe is a lifestyle. It is a legacy. Isheshe Agbewa. I remain your priestess of peace.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí àgbàgbé Very Dark Lady Zabby Ọ̀gánlá TV tó fohùn balẹ̀ sí ètò ilé wa nípa òṣèlú ìgbéyàwó àti àṣà Yorùbá lọ́lọ́kan ọ̀jọ̀kan oríṣiríṣi ilẹ̀ ọmọ bá pàdé lórí ìkànnì Zabby Ọ̀gánlá TV bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń wọlé ẹ yá bá wa pín kó kárí ilé kó kárí oko Very Dark Lady Ọ̀gánlá TV ìtúsílẹ̀ ọpọlọ àti ìtúsílẹ̀ ọkàn la dúró fún.